Hello everyone. Today we are going to see database management systems. Myself, Angel Annapadiva, Assistant Professor, CSC Department from Erode Semundar Engineering College. In database management system, we will see transaction, failure and recovery, concurrency control topics. First of all, we will see what is transaction. Transaction is nothing but transaction is a very small unit of a program and it may contain several low-level tasks. A transaction can be defined as a group of tasks. A single task is the minimum processing unit which cannot be divided further. Let's take an example of a simple transaction. Suppose a bank employee transfers 500 rupees from A accounts to B account. This is very simple and small transaction, but it involves several low-level tasks. That is, the account holder will open an account for A. Then A will transfer the 500 rupees to B's account. Then B will get he getting 500 rupees from A. So he will get new account balance. So these tasks will having in transaction. In transaction, it having undo redo mechanism, that is nothing but commit and rollback mechanism. This is nothing but if they are transfer some amount to another account. Okay, if any problem, any failure occur means it will roll back to it will get back into older page. So this if a failure occur, the system roll back the transaction by undoing all changes made to the database since the transaction started. After the rollback, the system uses the transaction log to redo, that is commit. After rollback, the system will commit all changes made to the database before the failure occur. This is undo redo mechanism. In a transaction, it having ACID properties, that is atomicity, consistency, isolation and durability. Commonly it is known as ACID properties. Then the importance of transaction recovery. Here, the importance of transaction recovery is ensure reliability of database systems. It is minimize risk of data loss. It will prevent the data from the loss of the it may be if failure occur means it may be loss some data. So we have to prevent from that risk. Then maintains consistency and durability of data. Maintenance is more important because if you maintain consistency and durability of data means only we will recover the transaction. Then essential for high availability and data integrity. Then common types of failures. One is system crash, network failure, power outage, software error, and human error. That is nothing but the system crash means if any system loss, any accident or anything, something happened, if system crash means it will lose all the data. So this is the one failure. Then if we are storing some data or transferring some data or some transaction will happen means if in between some network failure will occur means what will happen, we lost all the transaction, all the data. That is the one type of failure. Then power outage, if we are not saving the data, if you are typing or storing some data, in between power outage is there, So we lost the data. That is one type of failure. Then software error. If software error means we will lose the data. That is one type of failure. Then human error. We make the errors. That is one type of failure. Then recovery techniques. We will recover the data by using these techniques. One is backups and recovery, replication and failover, high availability, clustering, then data mirroring. Backup and recovery is nothing but we will take one real time example, that is WhatsApp. In WhatsApp, we will uninstall that app. Then we will install app again means we we will lose all the old messages, documents, everything. If we are taken backup means we will get all the data back. We will recover all the data. That is main real time example for backup and recovery. Replication and failover. That is nothing but replication is creating or maintaining multiple copies of something. That is replication. Failover is nothing but failover is when one system detects that another has failed and responds by taking over its duties. That is replication and failover. By using this technique also, we will recover the data. Then high availability clustering. Then after that, data mirroring. Data mirroring is nothing but data mirroring is the process of replicating the contents of files that have been transferred into or modified within USB device. Once mirror copies are made, they can be maintained in a password protected network share. This shared folder is best kept in a remote location to save space on local machines. That is one type of recovery techniques. Best practices for transaction recovery is nothing but regular backups and testing of backup and recovery procedure. That is the example for WhatsApp. Then after that, monitoring and altering for potential failures. If we will monitor continuously, then if monitoring and altering means if we will say continuously, save continuously means we will recover from failure. Okay. Then after that, regular maintenance and update of software and hardware. If we will regularly update and maintaining software and hardware means we will recover easily. Then proper training of database administrator and users. If properly database administrator and users are having training about updation about transaction recovery means we easily don't need to lose the data. And transaction failure. If a transaction is not able to execute or it comes to a point from where the transaction becomes incapable of execution further than it termed as a failure in a transaction. Reason for failure. Reason for failure is it having two two reasons. That is, one is logical error, another one is system error. Logical error occurs if a transaction is unable to execute because of some in the code or due to the presence of some internal faults. It is logical error. If you are unable to execute by us or unable to write a code properly means that is logical error. Okay, this is internal fault. Then another one is system error, where the terminations of an active transaction is done by the database system itself due to some system issue or because of database management system is unable to proceed with the transaction. For example, the system ends an operating transaction if it reaches a deadlock condition or if there is an unavailability of resources. Then another is System crash, network failure, power outage, system error, human error. System crash usually occurs when there is some sort of hardware or software breakdown. Some other problems which are external to the system and cause the system to abruptly stop the transaction, operating system errors, power cuts, main memory crashes, etc. These types of failure are often termed soft failure are responsible for the data losses in volatile memory. It is assumed that a system crash does not have any effect on the data stored in the non-volatile storage, and this is known as fail stop assumption. Then the transaction recovery. Database system ensure consistency and durability of data. Data recovery is a critical aspect of database management system. The transaction recovery involves restoring. Yes, recovery is nothing but it will restoring the data, previous data, restoring the database to a previous data uh, consistent state after an unexpected failure. After the unexpected failure, we will restore the previous data, that is transaction recovery. Importance of transaction recovery. It ensures reliability of database system, minimizes risk of data loss, maintains consistency and durability of data. These three techniques are recovery techniques: backup and recovery, replication and failover, data mirroring. With best practice for transaction recovery, regular backups and testing of backup and recovery procedure. That is the best example for WhatsApp. Regular maintenance and update of software and hardware. Yeah, this is the also main real time example. We having a mobile, we will updating regularly in each month. We will update the softwares, so it will easy to recover the backups, easy to recover the data easily. Proper training of data administrator and user, also the best practice for transaction recovery. Then the last one was concurrency control. Concurrency control. Concurrency control is nothing but it is a management procedure. It is a management procedure that is required for controlling concurrent concurrent execution of the operation that take place on a database. But before knowing about concurrency control, we should know about concurrency execution. Concurrency execution. Concurrency execution is nothing but in a multi-user system, multiple users can access and use the same database at one time, which is known as the concurrent execution of a database. It means that the same database is executed simultaneously on a multi-user system by different users. While working on database transaction, there occur the requirement of using the database by multiple users for performing different operations, and in that case concurrent execution of the database is performed. The thing is the simultaneous execution that is performed should be done in an irrelevant manner, and no operation should affect the other execution operation, thus maintaining the consistency of the software. Thus, on making the concurrent execution of the transaction operation, there occur several challenges, problem that need to be solved. Then one is problem with concurrent execution. In a database transaction, two main operations are read and write operations. So there is a need to manage these two operations in the concurrent execution of the transactions in the concurrent execution of the transaction. If these operations are not performed in a interleaved manner, and the data may become inconsistent. So the following problem occur in the concurrent execution of the operation. First one is lost update problem, that is write conflict. Second one was dirty read problem, write read conflict. Third one was unrepeatable problem, write read conflict. The problem occur when two different database transaction. First one was lost update problem. The problem occur when two different database transactions perform read write operation. The same database item is an interleaved manner, that is concurrent execution, that makes the value of the item incorrect, hence making the database inconsistent. Here, consider the below diagram, this diagram where two transactions Tx, Ty are performed on the same account. A, where the balance account A, that is we declaring A is 100. Okay. Here at T1 transaction Tx reads the value account A, that is 100.